Hey there guys, Optimizer here, and I'm back with another PvP guide on parries. So you're probably wondering why I'm making another video on parries. Well, the reason is pretty simple. The original video I did, the volume on it was too low in terms of commentating, so you couldn't really hear what I was saying. And the second reason is I think it's a little bit too basic. I kind of just said do a parry when you roll, do a parry when they run towards you, which is okay, but it needs expanding upon, and this is what this video is all about. I'm expanding on the things I said in my original video, and I'll be giving you some tips on how to bait in your opponents as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so I just want to quickly touch on the different types of weapons you can use as your parrying tool. You can use a chitus, you can use a buckler, you can use a small shield, you can use a shield. Basically, check the item description, and if it says that it can parry, then obviously it can do a parry. So the differences between them boils down to three things: the startup speed, the amount of active frames, and the recovery speed. So for example, if you look at the chitus, it has a quick startup speed, a quick recovery speed, but reduced amount of active frames compared to the parrying dagger and the buckler. The buckler and parrying dagger does have more active frames, but it has a longer startup speed and recovery speed. So really, you just gotta weigh up the pros and cons of each one and decide which one best suits your playstyle. There's really no right or wrong answer here. I'm personally using the chitus because it has low requirements to wield the weapon, and the fact that I'm restricting my build to level 80. So with all that being said, and when you break it down into its core, when you parry, you're going to end up parrying mostly two types of different attacks. So here is the rolling attack, one of the easiest things to predict, one of the easiest things to parry within this game. And the other is the running attack, which for me is a little bit more difficult. So the rest of this video then, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how you can read your opponent to predict an incoming rolling attack or a running attack. Because after all, not everyone's going to attack after a single roll, and not everyone's going to attack because they're running towards you. Here I'm up against this Zweihander user, and you'll notice that he rolled twice and did a rolling attack. So at this point I'm throwing an attack knowing he would dodge, and I just want to check whether he's going to do a rolling attack or not, and he does, and he keeps doing it. So I start to prepare myself. I throw out a bait, wait for him to roll in and attack, and there's my parry. So in this example here, I just want to demonstrate that a key to a good successful parry attempt is not to always attempt a parry. One of the best tips I can give is that just play your game normally as though you don't want to parry. And you'll notice with this guy, he's kind of mixing it up with rolls and using his shield, so he's a little bit harder to read than the previous guy. And you can see he's randomly rolling just to kind of test my reactions towards that, and I don't bite. I don't attempt a parry. I don't make it clear to him I want a parry. One of the favourite things people like to do after being hit is a rolling attack, and because he doesn't expect me to parry, I got my parry, if that makes sense. Here I'm up against a buffed katana user, one of the strongest builds in the game. You'll notice that after two rolls he attacked me, and there again. Whatever this guy's using, I want it. It's out damaging my +4 Yum's Great Machete. You'll notice here, when he gets into range, he likes to do a thrusting attack. So at this point, I've got enough information to attempt a parry. So I throw out an R1. I watch his approach. I'm anticipating a rolling attack. He does a rolling attack, and I get a parry. So this guy wants to try and get a parry on me now, and I can smell it coming a mile off. He baits me in. I know he's going to parry, but I fuck up my range, and I die. Okay, so from this point on, I'll show you some simple baiting techniques. Notice here I'm playing in two-handed mode. I throw out a two-handed R1, notice he approaches me, so I quickly switch to one-hand mode, and I get my parry. And here's another example of a simple baiting technique. It just comes down to a bit of spacing and timing. I throw out a charge R2, he thinks I'm vulnerable, he does a rolling attack, I'm anticipating it, and I get my parry. Okay, so in this clip I'm going to show you how you can also bait in running attacks. In all honesty, I think running attacks are pretty difficult to parry during open play unless you're absolutely sure they're running in for an attack. So you'll notice just then he kind of faked ran in, then he ran in and he did an attack. I notice he's doing it again, so I anticipate him running in to do an attack and I get my parry. And that's it guys, thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it more useful than my original parry guide video. Thank you for all your comments on that video, by the way. It kind of inspired me to improve upon it and make this updated version. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be making more Dark Souls 3 PvP video in the future. There's going to be more guides, more tips and tricks, more general gameplay, more weapon reviews, all that type of good stuff. So until the next time, see ya!